Why don't you give me a sign?
This is Corinna Jane.
The leaves are trailing on that shore. It's not your problem, it's mine.
With her brand new single, Give Me a Sign.
Me to your door while the world still spins.
As featured on BBC Introducing.
It's just the way it's gotta be. Give me a sign about the things that we don't know. Why don't you give me a sign?
Corinna Jane, Give Me a Sign. Out now.
It's not your problem, it's mine.
Debbie,
He had me running around, day in, day out.
here's a list. I want everything on it yesterday.
But I'm his assistant, so
Hello, I'm Sophia Jessica, and welcome to the Fan Carpet.
It's wonderful to speak to you today, Amber. How's everything going?
Yeah, really good. Thank you. Thank you for having me on here, first of all. Yeah, really good. Thank you. Everything's good, nice and busy on the acting side and on the social media side, which is a blessing. In the run up to Christmas, it always gets a bit crazy. So I'm looking forward to seeing what's coming up. But how about you?
Yeah, doing well. For us, it'll get a bit quieter towards when we get into more of the festive period. I think our last premiere is going to most likely be The Witcher.
Yeah.
That'll probably be the last one because then it kind of winds down to like mid-January, early February.
Yeah.
Which is fine because I can do with a break and catching up on some editing. But yeah, we just did the premiere for Hawkeye the other week, and I've got that to turn out, and yeah, all going well.
Amazing. That's good to hear.
Yeah. So if we go back to the beginning, was there a defining moment for you to get into the entertainment industry?
So yes and no. I've wanted to be an actor since I was basically a fetus. When I was at school, I was doing all of the shows and musicals, the pantomimes, you name it. If I could act, I would be there. So since I was a little girl, I've always known that was kind of my calling and it's what I wanted to do. And then along the way, I kind of fell into the social media side as well. And I do believe for me, that was a case of being in the right place at the right time. I just graduated from university. I had a few videos online that had gone a bit viral, had like hundreds of millions of views over 6 months. And I thought, oh, actually, maybe this is a feasible career choice alongside the acting. Let me see how this goes. And very blessed that the social media side was kind of my full-time job from day one alongside acting. So, and they're both in the entertainment industry, both really creative jobs that allow me to write, direct, produce, act. So yeah, very, very lucky to be doing what I do.
Awesome. Now you've recently been nominated for your acting. How does it feel to have that sort of recognition when a lot of people know you from YouTube and Instagram?
Being nominated for an acting award is the best feeling in the world. I won Best Actress at another festival last year and it still hasn't sunk in, and that was over a year ago. So yeah, this award is it's the Best Actor nomination at the National Youth Film Awards. It's been run by the National Youth Film Academy, and I've heard of them and kind of circled them over the last few years. I did a film, they cast me in one of their films in 2017, and since then I've kind of kept them on my radar. And this year I thought, you know what, it's time to join the National Youth Film Academy. The gentleman who owns it is called Rob Earnshaw. He's just fantastic. He just wants to focus on like giving young talent aged, I think it's 16 to 29, opportunities in the film industry, you know, the chance to make their own films, make connections, meet other like-minded filmmakers. And the film that I worked on, we've been nominated for 6 different awards, including Best Film, Best Actor, myself. So yeah, it was a really fantastic experience. And I think being nominated for anything, regardless of what industry you're in, it's just a huge honor. It really is. I know it sounds super cheesy, but I'm just so grateful, and I'm really, really excited for the award ceremony.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
When does it get, and when does the nominate? When do you find out the
So
result?
oh my goodness, I'm so nervous. So we find out on the 4th of December. They're hosting this incredible award ceremony at Odeon Lux in Leicester Square, which is exciting. And whoever wins Best Film is going to have their film screened there, which would be amazing, because obviously Odeon Lux is where they have all the huge premieres. Like June was there recently, so if our little short film gets shown there, that would be incredible. But there's so many amazing guests that are going to be there on the day. Like Simon Bird's going to be there from the In-Betweeners. So I'm really looking forward to it. I think it's going to be a really lovely day.
And he's become a quite prominent director in the independent space.
He has, yeah. I feel like he's killing it. First of all, he just seems like an amazing person, but I think he's a really great talent. There are a lot of people that I respect in the industry who have many strings to their bow, you know, writers, directors, actors, producers. And I feel like nowadays it's becoming more common for people to do more than one thing, which I think is wonderful.
Absolutely. It kind of leads nicely into my next question. Who inspires you in the industry?
Oh my goodness, so many people. How many names do you want? I would say, if I had to pick two, probably Phoebe Waller-Bridge and Michaela Cole. I interviewed Phoebe a couple of years ago, and this was before Fleabag. So she'd just done Solo, a Star Wars story, just getting her name out there. And she was just such an interesting person to talk to. And she was the first person, because I do a lot of celebrity interviews talking to actors about their upcoming films. And she was the first person I'd spoken to who was not just an actor, but they also was a writer and a director, and a really good one at that. And she was just a fascinating person to talk to. And I have a lot of respect for Phoebe Waller-Bridge and Michaela Cole, because they're not just huge talents on the acting front, but they write and create their own content. And I think for people at lower ends of the industry who are just starting out and in the independent world, it's really inspirational to see that, like to see them winning awards at the highest level of content that they've completely created themselves and then pitched to these companies. It's just amazing to see. And it's something that I think we're not used to seeing, but it's definitely becoming the norm. So I'd have to say these multidisciplinary creatives are probably my inspiration. Awesome.
Yeah. Phoebe's awesome. I haven't had the pleasure of meeting her yet, but she's on the list.
Yeah, I was gonna say she is amazing. You will love her.
Yeah, she's definitely on the list. What are you working on at the moment that you can talk about without getting into trouble?
Yes. Okay. So not breaking any NDAs.
Yeah.
So this year has been incredibly hectic in the best possible way. I've wrapped on 7 independent feature films this year where I've been playing leading roles. So they are all due for release next year. So I've worked on, I love horror films. Horror is like my favorite genre. You'll come to learn this. So I wrapped on a film called Mosaic, which is kind of an anthology. So it's lots of different individual stories with a large overarching story. So I wrapped last month. So that should be coming out next year. Another feature called Cuts, which is a slasher. It's like an American slasher film. We shot it in the studio where they've literally just filmed Jeepers Creepers 4, and that was my first big studio filming experience, so that was really exciting. I'm halfway through a feature at the moment called Burnt Flowers, which is kind of a crime drama set in the 90s, which is a little bit different for me, so looking forward to that. And then the final thing is I'm doing a short film this coming week called Wearing the Trousers. We're filming it at a diner in Hertfordshire, and I'm really looking forward to that. It's a rom-com. We've got a great director, great cast on board, and I think it's going to be a lot of fun.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. Now, you mentioned that you love horror. Do you have any favorite films?
Oh my goodness, I do. So funnily enough, my favorite films are not actually horror films. Okay. Although if I had to pick a favorite horror film, it would either be, and I feel like this is controversial, I love the Conjuring series. I love it so much. And I feel like when you talk to people, they either love it or don't like it so much, but I've seen those films more times than I would care to admit. And the last one, I think it's The Conjuring 3, The Devil Made Me Do It. When that came out in cinemas earlier this year, I watched it about 6 times. Oh, I was obsessed. It was great. I loved it. But aside from horror, I think my favorite films would have to be The Prestige. Love that film. If you haven't seen it,
no, I have.
Christian Bale, Hugh Jackman, yeah, absolutely fantastic. The acting performance was just phenomenal. I'd have to say The Prestige, Inception, and probably Thor Ragnarok, just because it's hilarious.
Yeah, it is.
Weird selection of films.
Yeah, they finally gave, after 3 films, they finally gave Thor the voice that he needed.
Yep, exactly.
Because I haven't read the comics, but I believe that he's a bit tongue-in-cheek, like, because he's obviously like super powerful and he wields a hammer. that he's worthy of, and sometimes he's not. And then there's a whole other thing when now there's like Thor 4 coming out soon, I think next year, and that'd be cool. The same director, so, and Taika's brilliant. So
oh, he's fantastic. I feel like everything Taika touches is gold. He's just one of those people where I am so jealous of his talent. He is gifted. He's just next level gifted.
he is absolutely, absolutely. And he's a pretty decent actor as well.
He
I've
is,
seen him in a few things. He's decent. He's fun to watch.
Mhm.
And yeah, I like his eye behind the camera. I think he's got a very very good eye when it comes to spotting talent and bringing it to the screen.
Definitely.
Now you've worked with a lot of great talent yourself. Do you have a wish list of who you'd like to work with?
I have a wish list, but it's more of a wish scroll. You know, like back in the day when people had those scrolls and they would open them and they would just roll for miles and miles. One of those. Yes, I do. So there's plenty. I feel like right at the top of my list, there's a lot of directors that I'd like to work with. I'm a big fan of Edgar Wright. I love Last Night in Soho. Like back in the day, Hot Fuzz, Shaun of the Dead, World's End. Love those films. So I think Edgar's probably top of my list. Otherwise, the usual suspects, you know, Christopher Nolan, M. Night Shyamalan, Carol Bawley, I love. I think she's fab. You test me out. Chloe Zhao, Quentin Tarantino, Scorsese, Spielberg, James Gunn. I love James Gunn. Really enjoyed the Suicide Squad. Those probably the directors I would love to work with. And then actor-wise, just so many incredible actors out there. I feel like really established names, but there's also a lot of people coming through. So I'm really enjoying watching Dopesick at the moment on Disney Plus, and that's got Caitlin Dever and Will Poulter in, and they are just fantastic. I'm familiar with both of their work anyway, but in that show they're both wonderful. So I'd say them. Otherwise, Will Smith, just because he's an absolute legend. Dwayne Johnson, I feel like he is possibly one of the hardest working people in the industry. Every time I read an interview with him, I'm just blown away by his work ethic, like the amount
he doesn't sleep.
He doesn't, honestly. I'm convinced that Dwayne Johnson has somehow managed to find a way to get more than 24 hours in a day. I don't know how he does it, honestly. It's ridiculous, but one day I aspire to be like him because his work ethic is so admirable.
Yeah, no, he's great, and he's gonna be great in Black Adam when that comes out as well.
So excited for Black Adam.
Yeah, that's going to be great. Are there any other aspects of the film industry that you'd like to pursue?
Oh, 100%. So with the social media side as well, for the last 4 or 5 years, I've been writing, directing, producing, editing, doing my own cinematography, a combination of everything. And I think bringing that through to the acting industry would be amazing. So I have co-produced a few projects, a few short films, documentaries over the years. And I received my first writing commission earlier this year, and it was for the BBC. Nice. So that was pretty exciting. So obviously I've written my own comedy sketches for years, but this was the first time I've been credited as a writer, which was incredibly exciting and a bit daunting. So at the start of this year,
BBC, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I know, right? I remember telling my parents, and they were like, "This is quite a big deal." I was like, "I know, someone pinch me." So it was for their Laugh Lessons, which is on BBC iPlayer, and they just wanted me to write a 3-minute comedy short. They actually asked me to write it about my life as a content creator or influencer. I hate that word, but influencer word. So I ended up writing this sketch, which was like first world problems of an influencer. And basically I was playing a heightened version of myself and just taking the mickey out of the whole influencer industry. And it was a lot of fun to do, and to have that freedom creatively as a writer and a performer, and especially because it's comedy as well. It was just so much fun. And that's now on BBC iPlayer, which is quite exciting to be able to say to people, you know, I made this, like I wrote this. Awesome. So I'd love to do more writing, more directing, and more producing as well. Yeah.
I'll go and check that out on iPlayer.
Thank you. Let me know what you think.
Yeah, I'll go and check that out. Because there seems to be like a little bit of a stigma attached when you say that you've like come from the social media background, like with YouTube and Instagram. I think it's unwarranted. I don't think there should be a stigma attached.
I mean, I definitely agree there is a stigma, but I was acting years before I did social media. Like think I said this to you when we were first chatting, and
Yeah, you
I've been
did.
acting since I was a child. I've only been doing social media for 4 years. So
Yeah.
to me, whilst people may know me more from social media, like my background is in acting, so for me, acting always came first. That's always been my main love, and I just happened to find social media along the way, and I'm very blessed for that. But yeah, there definitely is a stigma around. I've noticed going from any creative industry into acting, so whether it's musicians, models, dancers, people from reality TV, social media, that there is a really strange stigma around it. And to be honest, I'm not too sure I understand why, but hopefully that will change in the years. Who knows?
Yeah. Do you find that opens up a few doors for you as well, like having that sort of like having that sort of following as well?
To be honest, not really.
No?
When I
Okay.
apply for acting jobs, it's not something I particularly say. Like, I'll always link my Instagram and my spotlight in a few different bits and be like, here's where you can find out more about me. I've had a few films over the years, once we've wrapped filming, when they've said, would you mind helping on the promotional side on social media? And obviously anything I work on, I'm more than happy to promote, because I want to share it with my followers, my audience, and let them know what I've been doing. I wouldn't mind if someone came to me and said, look, we think you'd be great for this role and we'd like you to help with social media, maybe taking on an exec producer role. That's something I'd definitely be interested in, but it's weirdly enough, it's not happened yet.
Right. Okay.
I feel like it may at some point.
Awesome. Yeah.
Yeah.
No. So fandoms are a big part of the industry. Who or what you a fan of?
Oh my goodness, so many things. So okay, first of all, have you watched The Wheel of Time? It came out the other day.
I will watch it though.
Okay, go and watch The Wheel of Time. Thank me later. I read the books when I was at school. Such a big part of my childhood. It was the first series of books I've ever read where the women were so powerful. And that was something, as I mean, I must have been like maybe like 12, 13 years old, like too young to properly understand feminism. But I remember appreciating it at the time and thinking, this is different. I like this. You know, the women aren't in this fantasy novel just to basically make the men look stronger. They're there for a purpose. And I just thought it was fantastic. I loved the book series, and now it's been turned into a TV show, and there is a massive fandom, a huge fandom. Like, there's this hashtag called Twitter of Time, and every day I'll go on it and just see what people are saying. And I've never ever seen a fan base like this, like not for Game of Thrones, Lord of the Rings, Harry Potter. They are next level incredible, and it's all positive, and it's just the most wonderful thing in the world. And I'm working a lot with Prime Video on Wheel of Time, doing these like weekly recap shows on their Instagram, doing a live every Monday. I was saying to you, you know, I went to the premiere on Monday, and then I did this Twitch stream, and it's just such an exciting franchise to be a part of, mainly because of the fandom. So
that's awesome. I'm a big fan of Rosamund Pike, and she leads the series, so yeah. So I need to watch it. Yeah,
you'll enjoy it.
6 episodes, isn't it?
I think it's, let me have a look. So I think it's about 7 or 8 or 9. I know I'm doing the lives for 6 weeks, and the first one is 3 episodes. So technically that should be 9 episodes, but right, I'm not sure.
Okay. All right. So there are 3 episodes out at the moment.
Yes. So 3 episodes were released the Friday just gone, so Friday the 18th. Okay. And then it's 1 episode per week every Friday after that. Yeah,
awesome. I will check that out.
Awesome.
First 3 episodes. Yeah, I've got, I add it to the list of things that I watch, definitely.
Are you like me? Do you have a watch list a mile long that you know you'll never get through?
Yes, I do. Yeah, like in my Netflix, I've got, like, you know, you've got my list at the top in Netflix. I keep adding to that. And I watch a couple of things from it, but there's like another like 5 things added to it.
Yeah.
I'll never get through it. And then of course, like next week we've got Hawkeye starting with 2 episodes. So excited. I'm going to be watching that because I'm a big Marvel fan. And then after Hawkeye finishes, because it's a 6-episode run, you've got Book of Boba Fett. So I'm going to be watching that because I'm a Star Wars fan. So there's a lot to do over the next few weeks. There's a lot to watch.
It never ends, but I love that. There's always something good to watch. Like, I'm never stumped thinking, what do I watch? I'm like, there's that much good content out there at the moment, especially with all the streaming platforms. So I feel like we're very lucky on that front, aren't we?
Absolutely. uh, with the popularity of streaming services like Disney Plus and Netflix that we just talked about, and obviously they were the lifeblood over the last couple of years that we had where we weren't doing anything in person. What do you think the future of cinema is?
So I think there's going to be two strands to the future of cinema. I think that streaming services have really taken over the last few years, and I don't see that slowing down anytime soon. I think for convenience, just having like thousands and thousands of titles at your fingertips when you're at home, like people are becoming busier and busier. Like we were saying, time is going quicker and quicker. And yeah, I spend a lot of time on Netflix and Prime Video watching things. But I also believe that cinema will be around for a very long time, just because personally, when a film comes out, I want to see it at the cinema. I want to be in this huge room surrounded by other fans, and you're all sharing the same emotions, you're all sharing the same excitement, especially for when Marvel films come out, and like there's just that atmosphere in the air, and it's incredible, and I don't think anything compares to it. So I really, really hope that cinema doesn't dwindle away, and I hope that cinema remains a really, really strong player in the film industry. But I do also think that streaming services will just become more and more popular as well.
Yeah, there's been talk that Netflix are going to be getting their own movie theaters.
Really? Wow, I did not know that.
I think that's over in America at the moment, but I'm sure they'll, if it's successful, I'm sure it will make its way over the shores.
To be fair, I think that's a good idea. I mean, they just had Red Notice, which was their most expensive film of all time. It makes sense for them to make that move. I think that'd be a good decision.
And it did well, and it's done well for them.
I really enjoyed it. I've seen it 3 times already.
I've seen it. I haven't seen it 3 times yet, but I watched it. I enjoyed it. I think it's because I like the actors involved, like the principal 3, Gal Gadot, Ryan Reynolds, and The Rock. They're just great, and they've got wonderful chemistry together. So
they do.
Yeah, and there's talk of the 2 and 3 being shot back to back. So give me more Red Notice.
Honestly, I would happily watch 10 of those films. I just think the magnitude of everything. I was just watching it, and my parents now, they don't really have any background in the film industry, but now when we watch a film, I've kind of trained them so they know what to look out for. And my dad will be like, oh, look at that lens flare, the cinematography is beautiful, and my mum will be like talking about the directorial style, and I'm like, I trained them well. And for Red Notice, there were so many moments when we were all just talking, and I was like, the way that they filmed this, like that scene was a great one shot of this and this, and there were just so many things that I was really impressed with that I wasn't expecting. So yeah, I'd love for them to film a 2 and 3 back to back. I would definitely watch that straight away.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, give me more. I mean, they've made they've made 9. They're making a 10th of the Fast and Furious ones, and they've got 1 spin-off. So
many Fast and Furious. I love them, don't get me wrong.
I do too.
I have every faith that we will get to like Fast and Furious 27, and Vin Diesel will not retire. That man will never retire, I hope. I feel like he can just keep on going forever. He'll be 90 years old still driving those cars.
Yeah, why not? Yeah,
I'm here for it.
Yeah, me too. But there's a fervent fan base for it, and they kind of hit their stride with the 5th film, I think.
Yeah.
They kind of understood what they wanted to be, and I mean, they're all superheroes at this point.
Yep, that's true.
I mean, in the last one, I think it was the last one. No, was it 8? I think it was 8. Dwayne Johnson punched a torpedo.
Yeah, I feel like that's just standard for Fast and Furious films. Like the last one, they drove a car in space. I'm not even surprised anymore. I expect it.
And a couple of ones before that, they drove a car through a couple of buildings.
Yeah, as you do.
Yeah, it's like what? And like the last one, they did that whole that rope thing over the bridge.
Oh, I know. I saw it in the trailer, and I was just watching it like, but how? Why? How?
It doesn't work that way, but we're here for it. So.
They broke science, but if anyone can do it, it's the Fast and Furious franchise. I will allow it.
Absolutely. Yeah. You know where you get to this point, so
exactly.
Yeah, it's just fun for the fans.
Exactly, and it's incredibly entertaining as well.
Yeah, absolutely. So is there a book that you're a fan of that hasn't been adapted to film or TV or Netflix yet that you'd love to be a part of?
Oh, that's a tough question. I feel like so many books have been adapted now. Like all the books that I read when I was growing up, one by one, they've either been adapted to a TV show or a film. Series wise, there is one series. Did you ever read the Gone series by Michael Grant?
No, I've not read that one.
Okay, I would recommend it. I think it's aimed at young adults, and it's one that I read growing up, but I loved it. And I remember it was around the time that I was reading the Hunger Games as well, and it kind of has that, like, I don't want to spoil the books, but it kind of has that like post-apocalyptic vibe in a weird way. And I remember thinking, Hunger Games has been turned into films, this would make a great film or a great TV show. And I know that the author Michael Grant's talked about it over the years, but I don't think anything's been put into motion. But I think that would make a really, really wonderful show. So fingers crossed. And then, yeah, oh my God, I'd love to be involved in that. So Michael, if you're watching, hello.
Awesome. What in front of the camera or behind it or both?
Oh, both. I mean, my favorite thing is being in front of the camera, so that would be the priority. But if Michael Grant comes a call in and says, will you be behind the camera? Yes, sir, I will.
Nice. So where can we find you online to keep up with everything you're doing?
So my social media handle is my full name, which is just Amber Doig-Thorne. I'm on all of the social media channels, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Twitter, Snapchat. If there is a platform, I will be on there most likely. That's the social media side. I post most frequently on like Instagram and TikTok, like my little comedy sketches, lots of behind the scenes from film premieres as well, to show people, obviously, you know, firsthand what it's like on the red carpet. And I think people really like to have that insight if they haven't yet had the opportunity. So I try to post a lot of stories like that. So if you don't follow me and you'd like to see more film content, then head on over.
Awesome. Well, this has been wonderful. Yeah, it's been wonderful to talk to you. Congratulations on the nomination, and I'm rooting for you for the 4th of December.
Thank you so much. It was so lovely talking to you as well. Thank you for having me on.
Look after yourself, and good luck with everything that you're doing.
Thank you so much.
And I'll have a look at iPlayer. I'll go on there now, actually.
Yes, let me know what you think. I'm intrigued.
Yeah, that'd be fun. All right, you have a good one. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday. Thanks very much. Take care.
Thank you so much. You too.
Thank you for watching The Fan Carpet. Please follow us on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram for more content next time.
Check this out. Bubbly, anyone? No?
Quick, get behind! Come on! What the fuck?
I'm here on the largest of the Balearic Islands, Mallorca, with the turquoise waters of the Mediterranean Sea, beautiful mountainous landscape, the thriving city of Palma, quaint little market towns, a growing number of luxury hotels. It's no surprise that the likes of Audrey Hepburn and Elizabeth Taylor like to holiday here. So come and join me as I take you round Mallorca.
Thank you for watching The Fan Carpet. If you like this video, be sure to click that thumbs up button at the bottom of your screen. And also be sure to subscribe to the Fan Carpet YouTube channels. They're absolutely free and so much fun too. Be sure to check out the official website, thefancarpet.com. Also, you can follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram to stay up to date with reviews, competitions, the latest news, and so much more.